Hello boys and girls. Today we are working on lesson 6.3 and we're looking at equal groups. Now you'll notice that it says draw counters on your math board, then circle equal groups. At home you don't have a math board and sometimes we don't have time to do a math board in class. So what I did was I just took a piece of paper and cut it into smaller pieces, and I have a total of 24. And I'm going to put them in groups of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I do another group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's two groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I had a total of 24. And I grouped them by 8, and I had 3 groups. That is all that this is asking you to do. Now, what you will have noticed is that's quite time consuming. So if you prefer this method, please do it. And maybe you might have something that's a little bit easier to manipulate. I prefer Cheerios or M&Ms or Skittles or something that's a little easier to pick up. But another way, say you don't want to use paper or anything tangible and you just want to do it as quickly as possible, you can start by doing groups of 7. 7 plus 7. What is 7 plus 7? 7 plus 7 is 14. Plus 7 more. 7, 14, 21. Plus 7 more is 28. Plus 7 more is 35. So I can count 1 group, 2 group, 3 group, 4 groups, 5 groups. So 35 divided by 7 is 5. And you can say, well, I'm not very good at adding repeatedly, especially when it gets to those higher numbers, and that is fine. Another way you can do this is to draw a bar graph, and you can go, I know that most of you can do 5, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and you just see how many spots you have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 groups. We can do this again with another bar graph. I'm going to start another bar graph down below it, and I'm going to have 4s. Now, say you can't skip count by 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I count 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So there are 4 groups of 4. Now, say that you just went a little crazy and kept going. And now you have 20 and you say, I went too far. All you have to do is mark it out. Just mark it out. Don't erase your work. It's okay to make mistakes. That's what we are doing when we are learning. Make your mistakes and learn from them. So say you have groups of 6 and you don't want to draw all 6 of them. And you don't want to play with anything. All you have to do is we know 5 plus 1 is 6, right? 5 plus 1 is 6. 5 plus 1 is 6. So now I have these drawn out, and then I just count. 5, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I don't need that. So how many separate groups did I have? I have one group. I have two groups. So as you can see, there's multiple ways to get this one answer. And your job is to find the one that makes the most sense to you. Now for me, I prefer the bar graphs, the models, to see what I can do. A lot of people like just to circle their groups, and that is perfectly acceptable. And I know that my daughter, she would love something to touch. She would like to separate it. And either way is perfectly acceptable. Now, if you know your multiplication facts, 9 times what equals 36? 9 times 4. So if you are really fluent at multiplying, you won't have to do any of these because you'll already know the answer mentally. 3 times what equals 18? 3 times 6 equals 18. In his bookstore, Toby places 21 books. So I'm going to underline 21 books. 7 books on each shelf. And I really want you to understand that each tells you to multiply or divide. How many shelves does Toby need? So he has a total of 21. 7 on each. So what is my unknown number? What is missing here? 7 times what equals 21? This can be written 21 divided by 7 equals y. Now, I could draw a model. I could draw a model this way. I could do repeated addition. Either one is perfectly acceptable. I could use manipulatives to get this. I'm just going to do 7 plus 7. 7 plus 7 is 14. That's a doubles fact. 14 plus 7 is 21. So how many groups of 7 did I use? I used 3. So my answer is 3 shelves. Mr. Holden has 32 quarters in stacks of 4. How many stacks of quarters on his desk? So he has 32. The total's over here. He has groups of 4. And we want to know what this number is. Now you'll notice I use Y an awful lot, but you can use pretty much any letter. I would not recommend using an X or an L unless you capitalize the L, just because they look like numbers or look like symbols. So, how many stacks of 4 becomes 32? I can do 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. So let me count how many stacks I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So mine is 8 stacks. Now your job is to write your own multiplication problem or division problem, because you're going to need a total and the word each. And this concludes lesson 6.3.